Hi, Betty.
Hi, Erie.
How you doing?
Okay, that's good.
Good. Yeah, did you get the papers I sent?
Yeah.
Yeah. You keep those pictures of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really nice. Yeah, I got it all.
Good.
Keep it in my file here.
Great.
And I hope you do. Your mother forged your name?
Yeah? How do you like that? On that prudential check. And Uncle Joe was the one who second-endorsed it at the M&T Bank. How do you like that? And I bet that's how he forged the bonds, too, at the M&T Bank.
Yeah.
And he had my mother sign my name.
$1,000 worth.
Huh?
$1,000 worth.
I know.
Wow.
Betty, I want to get that will from Arthur Musarra. You know he made that will, right?
Yeah.
I know. I want to get that will. I'm entitled to that will. It's wrong for them to keep the will. It's illegal for them to conceal that will from me. And did you see that registration record? The will was that letter that my mother gave me was in, July of 1965? And then that registration record shows that a will was filed for my mother in October 15th, 1965.
Yeah, and I had to bring papers to Musarra for her.
Right.
Yes, I did. I went downtown into Musarra's office and gave him these papers that your mother told me to give him.
Was that around 1965?
I never looked inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, close to it.
Yeah. So my mother's will and my father's will were filed at the same time, on October 15, 1965. And there's the registration record. You know?
No. That was around 69 because I was in Pennsylvania and I left Pennsylvania in 67.
Well, Arthur Musarra was still my mother's lawyer in 1965.
Back, she had me go and give him paper.
Right. So but Arthur Musarra was my mother's lawyer in 1965 too.
Yeah.
And
It was in 67 and 69.
right. Evelyn says he was my father's lawyer since 1953 because it was Uncle Sammy's lawyer.
Yeah, it was my mother's lawyer.
Oh my gosh. So I bet when my mother says, there's things that people made me do, Arthur Musarra was one of them. Of course he was.
See, Uncle Sammy introduced everybody to Musarra.
Yeah?
Okay, now, Musarra he's a thief. He'll do anything for a buck.
Right. Well, he was the lawyer for Local 210.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was the beloved, what is it, that, officers, charity.
The police?
Yeah.
Benevolent?
Yeah, he was that.
So he knew all the crooked cops too?
Oh, yeah. He knew a lot. And, I had to go downtown, pick something up for me and Dolly, and bring it to Musarra.
Hmm.
And she was on 430 West.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I had Flossie was sitting there. And I went in there, and they told me to go get the package and bring it to Musarra. So that's what I did. Once I was waiting for the bus on Bailey, and who do you think came by but Arthur and his daughter? They gave us a ride to your mother's house.
Molly Musarra.
No. The other one. Claudette.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Claudette.
Molly's the one that's running for a judge.
I don't think she got elected.
No.
She's not on the ballot.
No, she didn't. Yeah.
I didn't vote for her.
Claudette, yeah, that's right. Claudette's the lawyer, too.
Yeah, she's a lawyer too. And so is his son, Arthur Jr.
And another thing that I know there was the will because one time I brought that letter to Arthur Musarra's office, and I showed it to the secretary, and the secretary was named Noel. Did you know Noel?
Yeah, I talked to her.
You knew Noel?
I don't know her, but I talked to her.
You know the name?
Yeah.
She went in the index file, you know Arthur Musarra's office. He's got that whole row.
Door?
Yeah. And as soon as you walk in, on the right-hand side, there's that there's those metal index files. So Noel says, let me see the letter. She goes, oh, okay, Iannaccone. So she looks it up. She goes, yeah. She goes, Arthur Musarra made your mother and your father's will, right? And she said it was filed in the surrogate court.
So why can't you get it?
Because they've been giving me the runaround.
Well, I'll go with you. We'll go get it.
Okay.
we'll start opening some doors.
I know.
There's no reason why you can't have it. You're the son. I started opening doors. I could open his. You know, we still could do it.
What do you mean?
You know, Uncle Joey was with the Mafia.
Oh, yeah, I know. They used to call him Joe Pizza.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And
He was in with Local 210. But, yeah, so in the meantime, we're going to go after those bonds, Betty.
yeah.
You know? Because that's the least that my father, you know, that I could get from my father, all the suffering that he went through, and this was government money. This was government money that was paid from the VA, went into bonds, and then they tortured him, right? And then they stole his money.
It was terrible, poor guy. His shock treatments, and when it made me would go to pick him up, when he wanted something to eat, but he wouldn't let nobody in the family give him nothing because they thought they were going to poison him. And then...
You know, Betty, there's a drug called BZ, and it's stronger than LSD, and it makes people violent, and I bet you that's what they were giving him.
But he wasn't violent.
He never hit nobody. That's what I say. He had so much control. He never struck me, and I really appreciate that.
And I would like to tell the court he was the most gentlest guy.
I know.
The only thing was when whatever they gave him would make him hallucinate.
Right.
But I babysat you.
Right.
I lived upstairs with you.
Right.
And Uncle Billy was the best guy. And I don't care what these doctors say. They don't know it all.
Well, that's what they were doing. They started their
And the poor guy.
experimenting with those drugs in 1953.
You know, you ought to go take a ride to see Mark.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Yeah, you ought to do it soon.
You go with me.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying, you know, Gary, if you can get your money, I'll help you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will. I'm confident because I know, the Department of Treasury, if there's theft of bonds, those were my father's bonds.
But you know what? What if they go after Aunt Dolly?
Well, it's the Department of Treasury's responsibility to reimburse bonds that, are taken by theft. And those were my father's bonds. It was his money. He was declared incompetent in 1960. So when they made that will in 1965, having him waive his rights to his estate in favor of me.
Yeah, but tell me this. Was the will, I gotta read it again, was the will made to Mamie or Peter Iannaccone?
They made two wills because they were legally separated. The lawyer told me, they had separate estates, and they wouldn't have done that unless they were legally separated.
So then the will...
And you were telling me my mother, did have a legal separation. I mean, my father got a legal separation. He was living with his father, and he was thinking about going out with Ruth Taylor, and my mother goes, if you don't live with me, I'm going to put you in the Canandaigua.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Because
wanna go back where you came from? You wanna go back?
because my father had a legal separation, he wanted a divorce.
Yeah.
He never wanted kids.
Too bad they didn't get
A divorce.
separation.
I know. My father wanted to go to the country. He loved to grow tomatoes. That's where he would have been. If he had his way, and he used to grab me by the arm and take me to his father's house, if they had kept, if back in those days, if they would have kept me, he would have taken me to a farm and I would have been a farmer. Because he loved to grow tomatoes.
Yes, but
Huh?
you know what? That was the poor guy's misery. How Aunt Mamie and Uncle Junior and Uncle Joey, how they all found ways to keep Uncle Billy with your mother.
Yeah.
And if he was not happy with
Because of the money. He was getting money from the VA. And you know what kills me, Betty? Is that my mother took all these pictures with my father as if everything's happy. As if it was a happy marriage. My mother's got all these pictures. What? Aunt Dolly, she talked her into it. My mother, did everything my Aunt Dolly told her to do.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Because she didn't know.
But at least my mother knew enough to give me the papers so I could figure it out. I'm so thankful that my mother did that, Yeah.
But like I say, when she wrote William Iannaccone, she forged your dad's name or your name.
She forged my name, or they used to call my father William Iannaccone.
Yeah. So,
They used to call him Billy.
yeah, who was this that she forged the money from?
What do you mean, on the Prudential check?
Yeah. How much was that Prudential?
I don't know, about like $700, not much.
That's not much, but it's...
No, it was in the name of William Iannaccone, right?
Yeah.
And it was 4121 North Bailey. And then that's my mother's signature, William Iannaccone. Right? You can tell by the I. She makes the I her way. You know?
And then Uncle Joey signed behind her.
Second endorse it.
So, where is the bonds that were cashed? Whose name is on them?
We'll find out from the registration records.
Okay.
And...
That's what I'm trying to think about.
Right.
Where are those bonds? Who signed them?
Well, you know, the Department of Treasury, they have to give me those registration records.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's the law.
So where's the Department of Treasury downtown?
In Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Oh.
But they've already admitted the registration records show bonds from 1941 or 42 to 1979.
And they were at their maturity, right?
But they're already cashed in.
Yeah.
So,
$1 million?
yeah.
Oh, man, who got that money?
It went to, my mother took it to Las Vegas, and she met up with Phil Napoli from that picture that I sent you. And with him and Seminelli. And I have a friend who, you know, knows about, finances. And he goes, from the 1040s that I got, it shows that from 1972 and from 1971 and before, there's no Social Security used for my father. But after 1973, my Social Security number is used. That's my number they're using on the 1040s. So that shows that the money was, laundered. They said I gambled it away. And then it went under the table. I remember Uncle...
You don't have to worry because it's not your signature there.
Yeah, I can say I never got those bonds.
No, you never saw them. You
Right.
signed them.
Right.
Take a copy of it.
Right. They were stolen and laundered.
Right.
And I remember Uncle Sammy going about the money went under the table. They're talking about money going under the table. That was the money they were talking about. Because I know, the Uncle Sammy used that money at first to build his apartments in the restaurant. I know that.
Yeah. But then Uncle Sammy gave it back.
And one time Joey admitted it. He goes, yeah, it was Uncle Joe who negotiated the bonds, who signed in the bonds. And I told him about Phil Napoli and the money that was going under the table. And you know what he told me? About this lawyer Siegel that was involved in it too.
Yeah, another dirty devil.
He used to live next door to them?
Yeah.
Is that Herb Siegel?
Yeah, I don't know Siegel. Yeah, he was...
What do you know about him?
He was in with the other lawyers. He was another unscrupulous...